My name's Scott Parker. Rock and roll saved my soul. Growing up during the 1980s in Southern California, I took comfort in feedback and power chords. My fate was sealed between the wax and the needle of the records that filled my room. I found refuge at the Cuckoo's Nest, Fender's Ballroom, and the Palladium. Along the way, I worked in a shoe warehouse with a member of Jane's Addiction, got high with Willie Nelson, and hopped a private jet to South America with Joan Jett and the Foo Fighters. My biggest reward for a life devoted to rock and roll is that I've become friends with some of the same artists whose music helped guide me through my youth. Now I get to sit down with these fellow raconteurs to tell our tales. This is my life. This is Death or Glory. Joining us on this episode of Death or Glory, from Generation X, Bob Derwood Andrews, and from Amen, Casey Chaos.
Yeah.
Your back must be like fucking supple. No, well, I was going to say, it's like all those things going backwards like that. It's like, it should be an Olympic event.
Contortionist.
Yeah.
Contortionist.
Yeah.
Freak show.
Yeah, you could be on...
Sideshow circus out there.
Well, it kind of is.
Yeah.
You know,
Sure.
both of you guys are kind of on the sideshow.
Yeah, well, many years ago for me. Yeah.
Well, it's still the sideshow. It's just
I
a little
guess it
different.
is. Yeah. I played last night, and it's just so weird because now I'm sitting down with a lap steel guitar.
That's right, you were telling me.
And, you know, and I was before I went on, it's like, man, before playing a show, it used to be whatever was around, you know, like vodka, whiskey, fucking beer, lines, joints. Now it's like 55 years old. Before I went on, pluck the ear hairs and get a green tea, you know, that was it.
Or is it, oh, no cokes.
No, sorry.
That's all right. Whatever you got. You got juice.
Ginger ale.
Lemonade.
Lemonade's great.
All right.
Perfect.
Ginger beer.
Is it
So
twist off? Or
complicated as we're
Oh,
talking
there
about drinks.
Yeah, right.
Thank you.
Yeah, how times change, you know. A green tea and pluck the ear hairs.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's the same thing.
Preparation.
Exactly.
Like, friends will call me and go, "Hey, we're playing here, we're playing there. You know, do you want to come down?" And I always tell them, I'm like, "All right, you realize you just asked me two questions there."
Yeah.
Because the question, the first one is, do I want to come down and hang out and say hi? Abso-fucking-lutely. There's nothing more I would rather do. The second question is, am I going to make it? Answer's fuck no, not a chance in hell. You know, because I got a 7-year-old,
Sure.
and you know, it's like I barely see 11 o'clock anymore. You know, in AM, but not PM. You know, I'm out.
Not you though, right? You're still rocking.
Yeah.
It's still a nightmare life. Slave to this
The religion.
Yeah, this
rock and roll.
music.
Yes. Well, it's like being possessed, isn't it? You can't
You
get
know what
rid of
is.
it.
You know what it is.
Yeah, you can't get rid of it. It's like I tried for fucking years. You know, I became a reporter for the local radio, and you know went around interviewing people, and it's like fuck. And then, like I say, I got this guitar, and it brought it all back because it's back to basics. You know, in the best or worst way.
It's the best.
Yeah.
You on guitar is the best. There's nothing.
Well, that's very kind of you to say.
It's true. You're like one of my fucking icons. The guitar playing on Generation X stuff, Empire, everything. It's just like
Empire.
it's fucking brilliant.
Thank you for
You're
saying
brilliant.
so.
You are. It doesn't get any better than this.
Well, it does because I see you. And
Fuck
it's-
off.
No, seriously, man.
Get the fuck out of here.
No, seriously. I'm not blowing smoke up your
No, I know you're not
dress.
like that, but thank you.
But just how you survive, you know, to be like where you are now, it's just crazy. And you know what you give to people who come and see you, it's everything, isn't it? It's fucking everything, and that's why they come and see you. You know, like the Stooges, like MC5. Like it's just like fuck.
Like you? Absolutely.
Well, I was going to say the divorce rate is 50% or something. You know, being in a band is like being married to 3
Absolutely.
people you're not sexually attracted to.
Exactly. That disgusts you because they're men.
Right.
But you have to get on, you know, in all ways.
Yeah.
And support each other.
Absolutely.
Because if you're not supported within the framework of the band, that's when it just fragments, you know?
Yeah, it's absolutely harder as you get older too, because everyone becomes more of an adult and whatever.
Yeah.
When you're a kid, you just You know, it's like you throw shit in a van, you go, here we go, we're going to play a chicken coop this weekend, and we're going to go do this. You don't care about money or whatever.
Yeah.
But for me, you know, as you get older, band members, everything the perspective changes because your life changes.
Yeah.
Right.
It's understandable, it's just not my life.
Right.
I pretty much, for myself, just sacrificed everything, you know, marriage, kids, everything. That doesn't exist.
That wasn't...
Because if I don't do what I do, I can't exist.
Right.
I don't care if it's for 5 people or 5 more people.
Or 6.
Could be 6.
Yeah. But that's what's so fucking raw and honest, you know? That's why people love it, you know?
We're talking about Generation X, and you said to me, well, no one cared about Generation X until Billy got famous, and there was kind of a reverse thing that people cared about Generation X in retrospect. And I said, no, that's bullshit. Because all my friends, when Billy went out and did his thing, they weren't into that. They were into those first 2 records.
Right.
And that's like, you know, that was it. And then it turned into this other thing that we didn't really care about anymore.
True.
And I kind of felt like, you know, I hope he doesn't really think that. Because for me and all the people I grew up with, it's the opposite. It's like that's where the meat and potatoes are. The other just kind of turned into fluff, and it was great for a bunch of people, and I'm sure they love it. But for us, it was that.
Yeah.
No, Generation X was completely. You were on top of the pops.
Yeah.
People loved you.
We were
guys.
the
It was
first.
huge.
We suffered because we were the first punk band on Top of the Pops, I think, and we were on there like 10 times with different singles, and this is my theory, right? That Billy's success, huge success, has kind of watered down the fact that we were in that big punk movement, along with the Damned, the Pistols, the Clash. You know, we considered ourselves one of the big 4 because we took all the bottles, we took all the beatings, you know, we were there. But I think with his success, true people can't bring themselves to acknowledge that we were part of it. Just the other day I saw like the top 100 punk singles of all time, and we weren't in there. And yet we were the first on Top of the Pops, and we had 3 or 4 hits, big hits.
Oh, absolutely.
And we're not even in there. You know, the adverts are in there 4 times, the slits are in there. I don't think people, especially in America, can bring themselves to admit, yeah, we were there and we were part of it because of Billy's success and his kind of, I hate to say it, but kind of like, what's that guy's name? Ben Cartwright in Bonanza. That's all when I see Billy now, I just think of Ben Cartwright and fucking Bonanza, you know? And it's not cool. It is to a lot of people, but not to the people you were just talking about.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that was my point.
Yeah.
That Billy Idol on his own with Steve and all that wasn't cool. Generation X was cool and inspiring and got us to do what we do, and sitting here
Right.
with you isn't because of that, it's because of Generation X.
Right, and don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on Billy or anything.
No.
You know, it's like he worked obviously very fucking hard to get where he's at, and I knew he always was on a mission. You know, you wouldn't call yourself, you know, Billy Concrete, you know,
Right.
If you wanted to be a concrete punter or something.
Right.
He was Billy Idol.
Absolutely.
And he was getting there. You know.
That's the difference, and that's what separated from me as a child, being force-fed fucking Boston and fucking whatever shit 70s prog rock bands were going on when I was a kid. That's what separated that from the Ramones, Generation X, the adverts, and billions of other bands, was the integrity, the honesty, and just the aggression. It was short, to the point, no bullshit fucking Emerson, Lake and Palmer shit, you know what I mean?
Keyboards.
Yeah, it's just like a fucking, and look at us, we're gods up here, you know, like fuck your gods. I don't want your fucking gods. I want what's real. I want what's portrayed. I want the vision. I want to have something I can relate to. You know, and like when you hear this fucking guy playing guitar, it's so out of control. It's so inspiring. I swear, it's one of my hugest influences is your guitar playing.
Wow.
And you know, we spoke about it before. Empire. I love fucking Empire. Back then, we were talking about it.
Right.
And I mean, Empire was probably one of the first records I had. At least one of the first 20 or 30 records I had.
Really?
Yeah, because the guy, you know, was in Florida, the backwoods, and fucking, there was an old dude that would help me buy punk records because I was so young. I didn't know anything. Being in Florida, you know, surrounded by rednecks and people butt fucking their sisters, you know, it was just sort of like nobody knew about punk rock. But he was hip, and he's like, yeah, this is the guy from Generation X. Oh, I love Generation X. Give me that.
Really?
Absolutely.
Crazy.
Orlando, Florida.
And there I am digging a ditch in London for $10 an hour.
Yeah.
And it really, if I died tomorrow, to know that, I'd die with a smile on my face, you know.
Because
not with a big bank account, but
Yep.
because, hey, I did something.
I read in Keith Moon's biography that he played with Generation X.
Yeah,
Did he?
once, yeah. It was, I mean, at the time it was big, but now with the passage of time, it's like, I can't believe that, you know. I guess on one time Billy's outings to clubs and stuff, he ran into Keith and invited him down to a rehearsal with Graham Chapman from Monty Python's. They were buddies and they hung out. So we're rehearsing, and in walks Keith Moon and Graham Chapman, and it's just like, ooh. And my drummer Mark Laff he wanted to be Keith Moon, a little bit too much sometimes, because he had the same haircut and did the same, you know, that sort of thing, and the, you know, Target T-shirt. But yeah, he came down, and I can't remember who asked who, but he got behind the drum kit. And we always had this problem with Shaking All Over. The count on the beginning, it is like, and it's, but on the Who's one, it's kind of like 3.5 or 4.5, and we always argued like, where is the fucking one? You know, because the guitar starts the riff, you know, and so Keith got behind the kit, which was exactly how his was set up because of Mark's fandom, you know, and I went and he fucked it up just like we always did. It was so good. It's like, we got it right. It's wrong.
Yeah, right.
And he played the whole thing, and Mark was just leaning against the wall going, I'm in Valhalla, you know, this is it.
Right.
And then unfortunately the poor guy died, not, you know, I don't know, 4 months later or 3 months later, which devastated Mark, you know.
I bet.
Like, it really did. It was like, not as bad as getting punched in the face by Pete Townsend for saying that Mark, we were sitting around a table, Keith Moon, Pete Townsend, and Mark said, I've got to tell you that your band changed my life. You know, without you I would not be me, wouldn't be doing this. And Pete Townsend went, bitch slapped him and said, fuck off, I don't want to hear that, or fuck you or something. And that, along with later Keith's death, it really killed Mark, you know.
Really?
It took the spirit out, you know, when your heroes are just horrible, you know. And to his credit, he did actually, years later, because I mentioned it in an interview, he read and he called Mark and apologised profusely.